Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Gold with your daily analysis for Tuesday 15th of July. I'm recording the video now, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was expecting downwards movement, that's exactly what we got. The target remains the same. I expect more downward movement probably for another 1 or 2 days. The target remains at 1280. The differentiator between the main wave count and the alternate is that black BD trend line on the daily chart, the lower edge of that big triangle. If price moves below that trend line, then the alternate may be correct. If we see a full daily candlestick below that trend line in the next few days, I will discard the main wave count in favour of the alternate. A breach of that trend line indicates that the downward movement is a primary degree wave and would be in the very early stages. But what's most likely is we're only going to get down to about 1280 and then price will turn around and have one more wave up. Let's have a look at the main wave count at the daily chart level. This wave count expects that the huge triangle for primary wave 4 is incomplete. Here's a zigzag for B, a double zigzag for C, a single zigzag for D, and we need to see a complete single zigzag for intermediate wave E. That subdivides 5, 3, 5. Minor wave B for the main wave count is seen here as an expanded flat. When it's complete, it will look something like this one here, except flipped over in the opposite direction. The A wave subdivides as a 3, the B wave subdivides as a 3, and the C wave is an incomplete 5-wave structure. We need more downward movement for the structure for minute wave C to complete. Minor wave B, if it gets down that low, should find extremely strong support at this BD trend line. We should not see any more than the tiniest intra-hour overshoot of that trend line, if at all. If we see a full daily candlestick below this black trend line, I will discard this main wave count. Minor B may not move beyond the start of A below 1240.61. That would be full and final invalidation of this main wave count and confirmation of the alternate. This main wave count has a much better fit in terms of subdivisions, so it's got a higher probability than the alternate. Intermediate wave E, when it ends, should still most likely fall short of the AC trend line, but the other possibility is it could overshoot that trend line, and if it does that, it might end and find resistance at the upper edge of the big maroon channel, which is copied over here from the weekly chart. Intermediate wave E may not move beyond the end of C above 1392.30. For this main wave count, I expect an end to this big fourth wave triangle, possibly in another 1 or 2 weeks. And when that's done, we will then expect a primary degree fifth wave to the downside. But I don't think we're there yet. Let's have a look at how minute wave C is unfolding on the hourly chart, where it begins here, which is this point up here. So I expect we have an impulse for minuet 1, a really shallow double zigzag for a second wave correction here, and a third wave unfolding. At 1287 it will reach 0.618, the length of minuet wave 1. I had previously minuet wave 1 labelled over here. I had this labelled as 1, 2, but we can't see this as the end of the third wave, because if you try and label that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the middle of it, the third wave, would be the shortest, violating a core Elliott wave rule. So the length of this last little piece of downwards movement has meant that I need to adjust the wave count again at the hourly chart level. I expect we have minuet 1 and 2 complete here, and the third wave is incomplete. When it's done, I'll be looking for a relatively deep, sideways moving fourth wave correction for minuet wave 4, which can't move into first wave price territory above 1301.95, and then a final downward wave toward the final target at 1280, where minute wave C will reach 2.618, the length of minute wave A, and the big expanded flat for minor B will have just the right look on the daily chart. And this is the alternate idea, considering the possibility that primary wave 4 could possibly be over. Both of our wave counts expect more downward movement, so at this point there's no divergence in the direction that we expect for the next couple of days at least. But this alternate wave count expects this BD trend line to be clearly breached. If it is breached with a full daily candlestick below this black trend line and not touching it, we will have trend channel confirmation that the triangle for primary wave 4 is over, and primary wave 5 would then be confirmed as underway. At 956.97, primary wave 5 would reach equality in length with primary wave 1. Primary wave 1 was really quick, it lasted only 3 weeks. I don't expect primary 5 to be that quick, it's probably going to be a bit more long lasting. Let's have a look at how this downward movement is unfolding on the hourly chart, where it begins there, this point here. So I'm still seeing a 5-wave impulse complete here for a first wave, and a second wave correction complete here. For this alternate though, the target is lower. 1244 is where minute wave 3 would reach 1.618 the length of minute wave 1. Within the third wave, an upcoming second wave correction can't move beyond the start of the first wave above 1313.86. Both of our wave counts expect more downward movement for at least a couple of days. It's the depth of the downward movement which is going to tell us which wave count's correct. I still expect the main wave count has a higher probability. That's all for me today with your gold analysis, and I hope that all our members are having a fabulous day.